Hi, I'm Jen. If you're new here, my handle is delighted to meet you on YouTube and Instagram and all the things. Normally I say I'm delighted to meet you, and I am, but I'm just not feeling super delighted today, and that's what I'm here to talk about. Let me give you just a little bit of background. I am a physical therapist, which is something I've talked quite a bit about, and I've worked really hard all my career. For 15 years, I've worked more than 40 hours a week most of the time, more like 60 plus. I always seem to be a very goal oriented person. I'm always trying to strive and achieve something. And I have actually even tried a couple little side businesses over the years to make extra money, potentially build a career, and some of those things were random. Some were related to my job as a PT. One was like decorating custom sugar cookies. And then as of January of this year, I decided to basically go part time at my job as a PT to go full time working on carnivore content and trying to really create a business out of that. Not because I am greedy and want to make a bunch of money, but because the carnivore diet has completely transformed my life and made me a whole nother person with just abundant health that I never had before. Namely, I'm no longer binging and my skin is free from psoriasis and vasculitis and horrible cystic acne, which were all things that I struggled with most of my life. So for the last 6 months, Monday through Friday, I've spent all my time creating content, managing different employees that I have that help me, trying to build different things, figuring out different avenues of income, just making that as much of a business as I possibly can. But what that means is I've worked as a physical therapist on weekends, usually 10 plus hours a day, and then Monday through Friday, carnivore stuff. So in 6 months, I've not had a day off. I kind of felt okay about it because, like I said, I've always been a very go, 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 always working on goals, always busy, and almost thinking of it like how busy I am is reflective of how awesome I am, right? Like it's this badge of honor to just keep burning the candle at both ends and keep accomplishing and keep winning. And I also get a lot of praise in my life for being able to do all of that. And I like that. But I'm telling you, it has really been catching up to me, especially right now. So let me circle back and talk about why I'm even filming this video. This was not planned. This just came about in the last 10 minutes. And the reason why is I was trying to film something for Instagram and I couldn't find the piece that goes with this microphone that plugs into my phone. And so I knew the audio wouldn't be very good and I just could not freaking find it anywhere. And I was just so stressed. I've just been stressed all day. And so I just started cleaning my apartment because I needed to find that thing. And also, I have this lovely apartment that I love and it's such a comfortable place for me and it gives me so much joy. But lately, it's just not really a joyful place because I've not really taken the time to keep it straightened up and as clean as I like and all that because I've just been busy. I've been doing other things, prioritizing other things. So I got to cleaning, looking for that piece, and I basically ended up cleaning my entire kitchen, my entire bathroom, cleaning out and throwing away cabinets with old crap in it that I don't need anymore. I even had a bunch of sugar, flour, and brown sugar in my pantry from when I used to do sugar cookies. And so I threw all that out. I just have this giant pile of trash now to take out. And as I was cleaning, just feeling myself feel this stress, feeling like not excited, right? Not in a positive way, but that rush of energy you get when you're excited, everything you start to move quickly and everything just feels heightened and your reflexes are tight and everything just feels very focused and fast and a little bit of stress. Like you've got to hurry before so and so gets at your house or gets to your house or something like that. That's how I felt all day. And I felt like that as I was cleaning, and I was trying to turn that down a little bit because I recognize this is a problem. So I turned on some music, like some worship music, basically, that I was trying to sing to. And I was just trying to take deep breaths and stop every now and again and just breathe, but still feeling this stressful feeling and feeling stressed because I'm stressed, like it's just been this vicious cycle all day. But as I was doing all that and cleaning, I was just having a lot of time to reflect and sort of come up with what I'm talking about right now. Because this isn't something that I really reflect on very often or talk about very often. Like I said, I've always been such an overachiever. So the thought of talking about how that's kind of a weakness for me has never really been a thing. That's always been a strength in my mind, not a weakness. It's always been a weakness. I know that in retrospect. But right now it really feels like one. And so I can recognize it. And that's why I'm sharing this. So as I was looking for that piece for my microphone, I was just thinking about just how I tend to be as a person, such a driven person, and why I might have even been like that. My childhood was not perfect, as was nobody's, but I really had a lot of issues with growing up with a teen mom. We were super poor on welfare, and I never had a dad. I never met my dad. And so, there's lots of different kinds of abuses, we'll say, that go on in households like that, that are very low income, no father figure, teen mom. So I had a childhood that is certainly not the way that I would have wanted to live my life. And I had no control over my life basically that whole time. And so then when I grew up and I suddenly did have control, it's like I've just completely taken the reins and tried to be as in control and as controlling as possible, because I like the idea that I control what happens in my life instead of being a passive participant in what happens to me, if that makes sense. And I think in many ways, it's a really, really good thing. I've created a great life for myself. I feel safe. I have what I need. I have lots of loving relationships, and I'm so blessed to have all of that. But it's almost like this is like feeling very emotional. I just said I am safe, but it's like I'm almost creating this sense of unsafety for myself from my health standpoint by being so uptight and stressed all the time. Here's another thing: I don't ever cry, like ever. The last time I cried, I was thinking about this, was when my friend died, which was in February. So 4 months ago from the time of filming this was the last time I cried. Before that, I don't know, many, many months before. And I think that's a little bit of a weakness as well. I'm not saying crying is a weakness. I think my inability basically to get vulnerable enough to cry is a weakness, because it is such a way to relieve stress and to sort of reset. I know whenever I do cry, I feel better. And it's like I just never let that out. Here's a fun fact about me. When I feel like I'm getting really stressed and I need to cry, I watch Armageddon because it makes me bawl like a baby. It never fails. And then I always feel better. So if you ask my best friends in my life, they will know what I mean when I say I need to watch Armageddon tonight. They completely know what that means. So anyway, the fact that I just got a little teary-eyed while filming this is kind of interesting. But anyway, back to the safety thing. So yeah, I'm creating a lot of problems for myself. And I've been noticing this for about the last month or two, that my sleep has not been as good. My heart rate's been pretty elevated. My normal resting heart rate when I sleep is like 45 to 52. Lately, it's been like 65 to 72. And I'm just not getting as good quality of sleep. I've gained like 10 pounds in the last month. I haven't really changed anything diet or exercise wise. The last couple days, like I said, I've just felt this like adrenaline all the time, but not the positive kind that that you feel good. And even, maybe I did feel it that way for a long time, that it made me feel good. And now it's just like burned me out, and now it feels bad. So I hate that I'm learning it this way, because there are easier ways to learn this lesson. But I feel like a little bit scared of what I'm doing to myself. And I think I started to mention a little bit ago that I sat down and took my blood pressure earlier. Maybe I didn't mention this, but as I was feeling that adrenaline feeling, I took my blood pressure and it was high a little. I mean, it was like 125 over 87 or something like that, which is higher than I normally am, which is about 110 over 65 or 70, something like that. And it just, it worries me. I've focused so much on my health from the standpoint of diet, specifically the carnivore diet, and I've had such healing with that. And now I'm creating dis-ease, right? Like dis-health, that's not a word, but poor health, through my choices of just being way too busy and way too stressed all the time. I fear that I'm not explaining this well, so I want to kind of keep circling back a little bit. But a couple of the things that are stressing me are, I didn't quit my job, but I went part-time to dive all in on building this brand. And I love it and I'm proud of it. But trying to build it like that has made it difficult, because I see everything as either an achievement or a failure. Like if I don't have enough growth or something from all the efforts I'm putting in, then it feels like a failure. Whereas I think if I just let it build organically over time, slowly, that would probably feel a lot more manageable and more rewarding. So that's one thing. Another thing is I have employees, like I mentioned, that help me with editing YouTube videos and Instagram videos and help me with some other stuff. And so I'm constantly feeling like I need to get stuff prepared for them. Like if I don't film stuff, they're not going to have any work to do. And so they're counting on me for their paycheck to create content. And so that feels like a constant stress. And then I have a wonderful friend who's been a huge help in my journey. I hate the word journey. You almost never hear me say that, but in my journey, he's been a huge help and has basically done all my work with my website and a bunch of just kind of life coach, business coach type of roles. And he's awesome. Okay. Really, really awesome. And he asked me to take on a new task with him, and I've agreed to do that. And I feel so stressed about it because it's not just a little task. It's turned into like this idea of a business and an empire that's even bigger than what I'm already trying to do. And it feels so overwhelming. And so the problem is, I have all these people counting on me. When I'm feeling stressed, like I need to back up and back off a little bit, it feels like I can't because they're counting on me and I'm going to let them down. It's one thing to let myself down or to reevaluate and decide that I need to change something, but it's quite another to completely let someone else down. So I still don't know how to handle that. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know I just probably need to be honest and just do what's best for me, but that's a lot easier said than done. So I've not solved that problem, but I'm just recognizing that it is a problem. And I've been really open that the whole time that I've been carnivore, I really haven't lost much, if any, weight. Sometimes I will be down 5 to 10 pounds, but generally my weight stays very stable, which on the one hand is a good thing because I used to be a binge eater and my weight would go up and down and up and down. But mostly, I think right now I weigh almost exactly the same, maybe a pound more than when I very first started the carnivore diet almost a year and a half ago. And I think for the first time, I'm realizing that the inability for me to lose weight, well, it's a few things. Like I eat too much food and I snack too much for sure. But I think the stress that I keep myself under is 100% the problem. So I really need to figure this out for myself so I'm less stressed. Also, so I can try to lose a little bit of weight. I'd still like to. But also, if I'm going to help people and guide people, I need to be able to manage this so I can help them to manage it too. So I'm working on it, okay? And I think that as a coach, a carnivore coach, I'll be so much more effective as one who not only has the experience from, healing my skin and getting over binge eating, also the medical experience working in healthcare for 15 years, and also this experience with the stress and how to manage it. So that kind of motivates me even more to get a handle on it. But it's like, I can't just say, oh, I'm going to get a handle on that so I can tackle all the things. Like, no, I need to actually prioritize my health and slow the heck down and do things I enjoy. Somebody asked me on an Instagram live 2 weeks ago, what are my hobbies that have nothing to do with food? And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I have all these hobbies and I haven't done any of them in 6 months. Like I love to go to the movie theater, paddleboard, ride my bike. I did ride my bike once this year. I love to just go lay at the pool, especially on a floaty in the water. I love to travel, hike. I like to go to dinner with my friends. I like to just basically be outside and listen to podcasts or read books that interest me or whatever. I hardly do any of those things now. And when I do, work is on my mind. And by work, I mean creating carnivore content. Often during those tasks, I'm filming or I'm responding to messages or something like that. But I'm basically never just enjoying the moment. Other people that I see, like let's say Kelly Hogan, for example, I think that she probably really is enjoying the moments that she shares on stories where she's out walking or she's hanging out with her family or whatever. But I recognize that even people like her may be in a similar boat as me where, they're presenting the truth, but it's like just a smidge of their life. All I'm saying is I don't know if other people are struggling like I am, but I do know that I am struggling. And so I definitely need to reevaluate this more and figure out what to do next. I want you to know that I am extremely grateful for you, especially if you're still watching after all this time. I've never set out to create a business regarding carnivore or anything else with just the idea of being successful and making money. That's just not how I am. I really value relationships and being honest and vulnerable and real. I'd still love it if my message could expand more and I could become successful. And by successful, I mean making enough money to be able to live off, right? And not trying to do so many things, working as a PT and doing all this. But I've never really been the kind of person that it's just like, I just want to make the most amount of money I can. And that's my only goal. Like, I really want to continue developing relationships and deepening those relationships and helping people as much as I can. I mean, that's always been my goal, even in my job as a physical therapist. And sometimes I just tend to take on too much and try to do more than is reasonable. And I'm just going in circles at this point. So I feel like I should wrap it up. But that's basically what I wanted to say. So if you're still watching, thank you for that. Thank you for letting me be honest. And thank you in advance for any kind words you may have. I'm not going anywhere, but if I do back up a little bit, this is an explanation for why. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have the best day.